Today I will show you how to cook a perfect vegetable pulao with all the possible tips and tricks. Though I have used eggs, you can happily leave them out. The best part is this tastes so much like a biryani, but you do not have to put in all that effort which goes into making a biryani. This all happens in one pot and that makes it even better. Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Boombi. Okay, so starting with the rice. You can use Basmati rice, but I have used small grained Kali Jeera rice because I love this aromatic rice. Rinse the rice grains very well about 4 to 5 times, and since I am using small grained rice, it needs to be soaked only for 15 minutes. If you are using Basmati rice, soak it for 30 minutes, not more than that. Then drain all the water through a colander, spread out the rice grains and wait till the water drains off completely and the grains feel a little dry. Then transfer the rice to a bowl. Add about half a teaspoon of freshly crushed black pepper, 2 teaspoons of shahi garam masala. This is my homemade shahi garam masala. It is extremely aromatic. But if you use store-bought garam masala, use about 3 teaspoons. Then goes a tablespoon of my homemade ghee. Now mix everything very well. I will be leaving the links to both shahi garam masala and ghee in the description box below the video, in case you're interested. After you are done mixing, keep this aside and move on with the other prep work. I will make a spice blend. In a pan, add a teaspoon of coriander seeds, that is dhania, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, that is jeera, and a teaspoon of fennel seeds, that is sauf. Stir these spices continuously over low heat, just a little, or until they become a bit aromatic. Do not have to roast them too much. If they start turning darker brown in color, it means it's going very near to getting burnt, and we are not making a pulao with burnt and bitter spices today. So they just need to be roasted a little bit and then take them out, and I crush them using a mortar and pestle. And this is how it will look. Next prep, warm about 2 tablespoons of milk. Add a few strands of saffron in it and mix. If you do not want to use saffron, just add a few drops of rose water or kewra water to the milk, and you do not need to warm the milk in that case. Going to the final prep work. Heat about 2 teaspoons of oil over low heat. In it, break as many eggs you want and scramble them. I used just 2 eggs. You also need boiled eggs, just to give you a heads up, because I did not show that part in this video. Means how I boil the eggs I did not show. You need these scrambled eggs later for garnish, and you can skip this step as well. Okay, let's now start cooking the pulao. Heat 4 tablespoons of oil in a heavy bottomed pot or pan. Use a large wide pan or pot so that the rice grains have enough room to expand. If you try to fit everything in a small pot, there are very high chances that your rice will turn out to be sticky and not fluffy at all. Beginners, I would highly recommend using a good quality non-stick pot or pan if possible. Once the oil starts shimmering, I added roasted cashew nuts and golden raisins. Since my cashews are already roasted, I added them along with the raisins. If you are using unroasted cashew nuts, roast them separately as raisins burn very quickly. As soon as the raisins start getting plump, immediately take them out from the pan. You need these later on. In that same pan, add thinly sliced onions. The thinner the onions, the faster they brown up. Never add thinly sliced onions in very hot oil because they will brown up immediately as soon as they hit the hot oil, and that's not how to brown onions. Start with a fairly warm oil and fry on medium heat. When the onions start getting a little color, I pushed half of it to the far end of the pan, and I will be browning this part as I will be using it for garnish. See how beautifully they have browned up? I will take this out now. Now bring these onions in the middle. Add 2 green cardamoms and a small cinnamon stick. I added 3 eggs that I had boiled earlier. You can add as many eggs you want. I like frying the eggs a little bit. Take them out when they get the slight brown color around them. Okay, next 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste goes in. Fry the ginger garlic paste on medium-low heat for about a minute. Then add just 1/4 of a teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder, not more than that. Then the marinated rice enters the pan. Fry the rice grains on medium-low heat for about a minute or two. Then add hot water. I have used 2 cups of rice, so I used 3½ cups of water. Use the same cup to measure water in which you measure rice. Now if you use Basmati rice, use 3¼ cups of hot water for 2 cups of rice. Add 2 teaspoons of salt. Keep the heat on medium-low. Then add a teaspoon of that roasted spice blend that you had made earlier. You can use rest of that spice blend in any vegetable curry or over any boiled vegetables. Then I use frozen vegetables. It is a mix of carrots, green beans, sweet corn and green peas. My friends, I always store some frozen veggies. They are picked and frozen when they are at their best, and I find them so very convenient when I want to make something quick. Finally, add a teaspoon of sugar, which is always optional, but I always like adding it to a vegetable pulao. As soon as you start to see the water reducing and the rice starting to float up, reduce the heat to the lowest mark possible, cover on, and cook for 15 minutes. While the rice is getting cooked, I made a quick raita. In a bowl, add 1/4 cup of plain unflavored yogurt. In it, add a teaspoon of chaat masala, 1/2 teaspoon of roasted cumin seed powder, and 1/8 teaspoon of crushed black pepper. Then salt to taste and little bit of sugar. I added a little bit of milk to thin it out as I use thick Greek yogurt. You can also use water in place of milk. You do not want the raita to be too thick nor too thin. To this I added chopped cucumber, tomatoes that I had de-seeded so that the raita doesn't turn out to be watery, and chopped onions. Oh, and I forgot to add chopped coriander leaves but added it before serving. Mix well and you can refrigerate this for a day or 2. I like sprinkling a little bit of sweet paprika on top before serving because I like it. And I really don't care if it's not authentic to use paprika in raita. You can leave it out and I leave that totally up to you. Okay, 15 minutes done. Lift off. I added a teaspoon of ghee, few whole chilies, the saffron milk, the fried cashew nuts and raisins. I sprinkled a teaspoon of lemon juice and the eggs jump in as well. Now please taste the rice at this point. If you think it to be a bit too chewy, then add 2 more tablespoons of water, cover on and keep it again on low heat for 5 more minutes. I didn't need to do that because my rice was perfectly cooked. So I switched off the heat, covered it, take it off the stove and allow it to rest for 15 more minutes before serving. The more the rice sits, the fluffier it gets, and all that magic happens in this time. So please do not allow anybody to lift off that lid in these 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you can uncover and look at that beauty. Fluff up the rice using a thin flat spatula and handle the rice very carefully. The rice has turned out to be so fluffy, each rice grain being separate. Remove those whole spices before serving because you do not want to start a whole spice drama. If your guests are not comfortable with chilies, remove those whole chilies as well. You can store this for a few days in the refrigerator. Just heat it up in a microwave or a very low and slow oven. If heating in oven, cover it while heating up. You can have this with the raita that I showed you earlier. Or you can also serve this with bhuna chicken, lamb or chicken korma goes very well. Or you can serve this with a vegetable or paneer curry. I have a whole playlist on different type of vegetable curries on my channel. And my friends, do not forget about those scrambled eggs. Add them when plating up as a garnish. Please click that like button for me, hype this video, and do leave a comment for me.